Hey, in this video we're going to be talking about how to go out on the motocross track and practice some skill sets and how that actually really transitions into doing trail riding. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new content. Let's go ahead and get going. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert from Sherburne Outdoors. It's actually my third video this week, getting a lot done. Hey, in this particular one, I wanted to talk a little bit about some training I've been doing. So this next year, I'm thinking I'm turning 50, so I'm thinking about doing some enduro races in the over 50 class, just kind of see how it goes. I haven't done any since I was in my early 20s. I've been riding quite a bit lately. And one thing I've been doing was to get my fitness up was to actually get on the motocross track at my local place where I ride at, which is Highland Park in Cedartown, Georgia. It's a great place. They got in addition to all the miles of track that I ride on, just single track in the woods, they've got 4 motocross tracks, all the way up to a really nice supercross track, but I ride kind of what I would call the junior one. And I really was just getting out there to just to get my endurance up, to be honest. I haven't ridden motocross since I was probably 18 years old. And I wasn't any good at it then either. But I got out there. One thing I've noticed from that is some of the skills that I've been working on out on the motocross track have really transitioned into my trail riding. Really in 3 areas. One is braking and berms. Knowing how fast I am going when I need to brake into a corner in a particular berm. The other one is actually coming out of that berm and getting straight line speed. And that straight line speed actually on the motocross track transitions to whether you're on an open road, you're on a power line, or you're in the woods where, I'll give you some examples. And my other one is jumping. Jumping's a funny thing because you do encounter jumps that you see coming, and then you encounter jumps where, they're just come out of nowhere. And being able to expect those, know what to do, position your bike, and being able to really lock your legs onto the bike and really absorb it and work well and be able to hit the gas right after you come out of that. So those are the 3 areas we're going to talk about today, is really berms, straight line speed, and jumping. So with that said, we're actually going to look at some videos, and then we're going to do some comparisons of the motocross section to actually a trail section where they transition. You can see how that's been working for me. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, this is berms and braking. So we're coming over, we hit a nice little tabletop jump, and then coming into a very wet section. So I'm learning how to brake in those particular areas, going high on the berm, don't lose a lot of speed. One thing I want you to notice on these berms, you can come into them really hot and start learning how it will slingshot. You don't have to stop all the way into it. You can slide into it and it will slingshot you out. So that's a good example of 4 berms in a row. Let's transition now to see what those berms look like when we're in a woods setting or an open road. All right, so now we're in the woods hauling ass through an open road. We come in, we got a berm setting, we slide into it. So just like the motocross track, coming into that, we slide into it, we come out hard with a lot of speed. This is kind of these areas where this transitions, and we're flying up a hill right now. A lot of jumps. You'll kind of come into this a little bit. Let's look at another section. All right, here's a little further up that trail. Again, we're coming in really hot, a lot of speed. Start slowing down, got a small jump, and then I'm going to come into a berm, which I'm going to hit high, and it's going to slingshot me up the hill. So a couple things happened there. Did some braking, slingshot up the hill, and then basically started moving along. Let's look at the same situation, but in a tight track setting, single track. All right, this is trail 17, which is a 5 dime. It's pretty rutted out. So here's an example of hitting a berm that's on the side of a rut and it's slingshotting us out. We're going to have one more example here in a second that's exactly like the motocross track, except we're on single track. We're flying up the hill, we're continuing to go, and boom, here's a berm right here. We're going to go to the edge of it and hit the power, just like we did on the motocross track. Here's another great example. We're flying up a hill. The berm is actually going to be on the opposite side facing down the hill. We're going to take some speed into it. It's going to slingshot us around, and we don't have to worry about downshifting or hitting the brakes. So those are a couple great examples of all of that moving. All right, so let's transition now to jumping. Learning how to properly jump or just get used to jumping. I mean, I'm no expert at it. So let's go back over to the motocross track where we're doing some jumping. This will look a little bit familiar. So we're coming out of, this was like the 4th berm we did before, and now we're zooming down the track. We hit a big jump, and then we're able to get enough speed where we do the small tabletop, and then we fly down the backstroke here and do the tabletop. Then hit a berm at high speed, braking hard, braking late, coming over this small tabletop, coming around the back, pretty slick, come flying down the back, lots of jumping, lots of gripping. Now when I'm hitting those in the air, I actually am gripping with my knees and my ankles against. Again, we hit a small jump here, and we come out of the back, hit this berm. Again, berms are everywhere, but they do help with the jumping. So we jump again, and then we open up our straight line speed, and we hit this thing hard, and we actually clear the tabletop, and it's nice and smooth. Let's transition this how we look at it in the woods. So we'll start on an open road like we were at before, where we went around and did that berm. So we're coming out, we're hauling ass down our open road, we hit our berm, and immediately we start going uphill, and it is full of jumps. So we need to be ready, and we're coming up the hill. Again, this doesn't look any different than the motocross track we were on, it just happens to be out in the woods. Same rules apply. Keep the hammer down, open speed, make sure that wheel is turning when we come off the back of the jump. I'm standing up the whole time pretty much here, and I've got my knees locked around. So this is a great example of doing this in an open road setting. Let's take this in a little bit tighter. This is a great example of single track. So I'm coming down the backside of a mountain. It's tight, I got things coming by, it is bumpy, and then all out of nowhere, a jump comes into here. Got to be ready to handle that. So again, nice, just exactly like we learned on the motocross track, flying down the side of this. This is the same trail, just a little further along. I'm hitting some jumps, boom, hit that one as we go through. And so this is a good video of learning how to transition what you're kind of learning and playing with on the motocross track, how it is directly applicable to when you're out on the motocross track or out in the single track and making it work. Hope everyone has enjoyed this video, but get out there on the motocross track next time you're out there. These skills do translate. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new content. Thanks again for watching.